Hi, this is Chris with Golf Connect, and today I'm going to show you the N60 Network Radio. The N60 is my favorite mobile radio right now. It comes with a 4.5-inch touchscreen, which is a lot less strain on your eyes, and it's easier for your fingers to get in and interact with the Android operating system. That said, it is powered by Android, and it will come with power for vehicle installation or in-house use. Now, let me show you everything that comes in the box here. It's laid out pretty well organized when you receive it. You will hear odds and ends move around a little bit, but not too bad. Go ahead and take out each separate component here, and we'll show you what is in each one. First, your power. Now, when I import these, I order the wall wart, which gives you your wall power plug. It has its proprietary 3-pin connection there, but I also get the vehicle mount or the vehicle install. Same connector, you got your cables. You got your positive and your negative, your ground, but you also have like a remote, so you could put this into an accessory and it will turn on and off the radio when your car turns on and off. If you don't want to leave it on or control it through a toggle switch another way. If you don't want to deal with it coming on and off with an accessory switch, just go ahead and you pair the two together and it'll be always on. So that's a nice plus to have. If for some reason you didn't have the wall plug to utilize, you could use something like this, which you can find on Amazon. It's just a 12-volt power brick, and it has positive, negative lead. So you can wire this in to your wires and then plug it into your wall power. I use this with some of the Enrico radios, so I can use it inside the house to test before shipping out. And you know, it comes in pretty handy. It's a good way of testing other 12-volt appliances and hardware. All right, now we got your antennas. So you've got your cellular, and then you have your GPS. It is magnetic, so you can mount that on the top. Most of the time when I put these in, you know, you can put it in underneath the dash somewhere if you're really utilizing it. It'll triangulate with the cellular GPS as well, so it's not super critical, but if you have the means to route the wiring out to the outside of your vehicle to mount that, it's a good option. Now, this upgraded microphone is a lot better than the last N60. Comes with your mounting hardware. It is connected to the radio by a RJ45 connector, so if you end up having to splice on, extend, or rerun this, you can actually do that pretty easily. And the reason I like it better than the last one is you actually have the number pad, the volume up and down, remote power, you've got your push to talk button, your SOS button, and you've got your clip plus the mic mount. So lock those in. If you're utilizing in a big truck or anything like that, you know, you can use your radio keep, your retractable lanyard, so that works out really well with those. It's nice buttons, pretty good feedback when you click them. It works really well. Now, depending on the software suite that you're going to use for your push to talk, Zello or Walkie Fleet or any of the other ones that are out there, we personally use Walkie Fleet for private communications. We also host it if you're interested in that service. But for small organizations, things like that, if you don't really care about running your own private server, Zello works out really well too. Zello doesn't support the SOS right now. Walkie Fleet does, if that's an option for you. Now, what you really want to look at, the radio. first up, let's look at the mounting plate. It's a pretty substantial plate. It's got some screw connectors here to mount it to the radio and secure it. You know, it's pretty solid. You can use any of the mounting options in this template here to secure it to your vehicle. Works out really well. To mount it, you just sit it in, screw it down, make sure it's secure. The radio itself, like I said, it's a 4.5-inch screen. Has your buttons here for navigating the home screen. Has your on-screen buttons as well for your standard Android home, back, and menu. You have your volume/power, another SOS. Your mic goes in here. This also does have a microphone on the unit itself, so that way you can utilize it without the handheld mic if that's a scenario that you come in contact with. And then you have your ports on the back. So you have your power in. This one is for the GPS antenna. This one is for the GSM antenna. And then you have your headphone jack, which works really well for a remote speaker. So if you have this mounted in the cab, maybe it's down low, you can actually do a remote speaker and mount that speaker up farther towards your head so you can hear what's going on. And you have the option of those remote speakers, some of them come amped, so you can have a louder volume output. Here's your micro USB. And this is where you can hook it up to your computer for updates, or utilizing a software like Pfizer to remote control the device, so you can do your setup through your computer without actually having to mess with the touch screen at all. Once the device is fully set up, then you go install it. Other options would be too, if you utilize any of the Android programming like ADB, you can pretty much deploy a lot of these devices relatively quickly, just using a script or program that you have on your computer. So that's that. Let me get it turned on here for you and you can see the operation. All right, utilizing the power plug that came with it for the in-home use, the wall plug. Just gonna line it up in its key, make sure it's secure, and it automatically turns on. And give it a couple of seconds here for the Android operating system to fully load up. Try to get out of the glare for you guys. Now this one isn't joined to Wi-Fi, it's not joined to cellular. I can show you one of the installs that I have in a little bit to show you how that operates. It comes with the standard stock Android apps. You've got a PTT app from the vendor. Usually, I'd say take that off unless you're utilizing it already in your operation. I personally like to use the software that's US based, just so I'm not really concerned about where the data is going or anything like that. You've got a phone, contacts, text message. I mean, if you put a regular phone SIM in here, it's an Android device. So you could utilize it just like that if you want. Personally, I recommend using something like Ting or a GSM carrier that will give you a data-only SIM. T-Mobile will give you data-only SIM. Some of the AT&T options will give you data-mobile SIM as well. Being a first responder, I've been able to test FirstNet. It does work in FirstNet 4 now, but there's no guarantee that that's a long-term availability. We are looking at stocking some Verizon hardware, so that may be an option down the road as well. But it comes in here, you've got your browsers. This one actually does come with the Play Store. So if you have an account with Google, you're already using Android, you're comfortable with it, you can install and update apps through the Play Store. If you're utilizing this for a fleet deployment, you do have the option of doing Android Enterprise, where it's a mobile device management platform that you can deploy. If you're using Azure Intune, you can do that, and you can lock the devices down, control the update cycles, things like that. works out pretty well. Like I said, stock apps come in there, but you can rip those out and uninstall them and install your own applications for whatever platform that you're wanting to use. And one thing you probably want to see that I skipped over before was the SIM and flash card. So there you go. It's a, sorry about that. Yeah, it's a regular, I want to say mini SIM card and a SD card. The SD card, just like adding it to an Android phone, it'll let you extend your storage locally if you want to keep logs or copies of recordings or anything like that. And then your SIM card is just that, it's your SIM card. The only thing, like I said, you have to make sure your carrier doesn't only allow devices specific. So Sprint only allows devices specific to their network that they've whitelisted. Verizon only allows devices specific to their network that they've whitelisted. So this won't work on one of those. So you're pretty much looking at your GSM carriers in the US. Like I said, it's T-Mobile and AT&T, and then any sub-carrier or MVNO underneath those. No, hope that helps. I'll show you a mobile deployment of what this looks like installed in a vehicle. Alright, here's an example in my truck of the two radios I was referring to. But here is the N60 and the Enrico TM7 Pro or Plus. This guy's 4G, works on LTE. Both of them are 4G LTE actually. But if you can see, the 2-inch screen versus a 4.5-inch screen, it works out a lot better. Those are the two radios that I've kept in stock. The Enrico is nice if you've got like a smaller form factor you need to install the radio into, but here's the N60 installed. And what I did, ignore the pretty custom rough enclosure there, but basically this is the ABS plastic, just it's my faceplate there, but it goes in behind, and then there's the brackets back there putting pressure on it to keep it from coming out. So that's how it's small backside fits in there pretty well. If you were doing this in a work vehicle, taxi cab, shack, ambulance, whatever, you would just mount those to whatever surface. Most likely you already have a mount installed in. Now the Enrico is the same form factor as some of the Motorola radios. It's just not as long. Doesn't need to be so deep because it's just the Android device there. So that connects in. So I do have SIMs in these radios. They all go through the Ting network, but I also, what I do for mobile deployments and things like that, I have a Ting GSM SIM in here, and then the vehicle itself is a Verizon hotspot. So these radios both connect to the Verizon hotspot. If for some reason that hotspot fails, or GSM is just better in that particular location, I can turn the Verizon hotspot off or disconnect the Wi-Fi, and they will fail over to their Ting SIM card. So they'll hit the GSM network. So in my mobile deployment here, I've got Verizon and T-Mobile on the Ting network. So I've got both types of bands that I can utilize. Here on the bottom one is my Walkie Fleet installation. It connects to the private network, so that way I can talk to the other technicians on the field. I do first response type work with some veterinarian clinics and things like that. I can tune into their particular channels or frequencies if I leave them a radio, so it works out pretty well. And the N60 up here right now, I have it just set to load Zello because I was demoing that and then doing some Broadcastify streams so I could pay attention to some other streams in the area. But if I open up Zello, sorry the sun, it's Florida, you can see I'm connected to the Golf Connect channel on Zello. It's my ham radio ID as a username. But if I want to go into the channel, I can either key up on the screen or utilize the mic here. and communicate with anyone who wants to ask questions or do anything like that. I keep Zello running on my mobile and here just in case I have someone who has some issue and they want to reach out to me. It's also good for connecting to other hams, utilizing the Zello network. And then for my little private walkie fleet server, I just use the Enrico key up and communicate with other technicians. I do have the SOS functionality built in and supported with the Enrico because the walkie fleet software and service does support SOS functionality. It alerts our dispatch computer back in the shop, and any supervisors who are on duty and signed in, they have access to hear those SOS messages as well. So that works out pretty well if we have someone that maybe needs some assistance and isn't able to get any help. Thankfully, we haven't had to utilize that functionality too much, but it's there. It's peace of mind. It's like insurance. But there you go. There's the N60 actually installed, and it holds up pretty well. The volume's quite good. Let me see if I can. No one's on here to talk to me on Zello, so we'll go back out and then we'll do Broadcastify and see if I can get an audio stream to show you how well the speaker works, which, you know, it's in a video, so it may be hard to hear.
Transport 1 to Kill starting 0. Transport Elko.
Alright, thanks for watching. If you want to learn about how to program it through Visor, through your computer, or if you want to learn anything or know anything about something I didn't cover, just let me know. Leave a comment, send me a message on Facebook, and I'll be more than happy to run through any scenario, give you any advice, or look further into any particular issues you may be having with these radios. Anything I can do to help you out, just let me know. Thanks.